Morning. So I'm joined here with me today by Cathy, and Cathy has first came to see me around about 2 years ago this month. And Cathy was a client of mine who is now a friend and also now a colleague. So I just wanted to catch up with Cathy. It's been 2 years since we first met. And also it was about a year ago that an article came out in the Women's Day with Cathy, just to see how she's been getting along with Virtual Gastric Band, how she's been doing and how everything's going now that she's retrained as a hypnotherapist. So morning, Cathy, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Richard. Good morning.
Excellent. And how's everything been going over the last couple of months for you? Hope you've been keeping well.
Yes, I've been keeping really well. I've actually really enjoyed the lockdown. It's actually been very restorative. Um, Doing some overdue projects around the house and
Awesome.
outside the house, so that's been really good.
Yeah, because you live in a lovely area anyway, don't you, out in Clevedon?
Yes, we live right out in the middle of nowhere, sort of at the very end of a big long road, so out in the bush. So we're very, very fortunate where we live, and we love it. So it's very, very relaxing just being at home. So we're very lucky. We had
Perfect.
10 acres to play in, so we're okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So definitely some social distancing for sure anyway.
Absolutely. Can't see our neighbours.
No, awesome. So, I mean, like I said, it was about 2 years ago, I think, back in around about June, July 2018, that you first came to see me for the Virtual Gastric Band.
Yes.
And back at that time, what sort of made you decide on hypnotherapy back then?
I had been feeling pretty miserable all my life, going up and down with my weight, and I had a particular well, not an incident, but um, an event that happened in January when it was my daughter's wedding, and I was about 97 kilos when I came to see you, and I was absolutely exhausted by the end of that wedding day, and I just felt like if I didn't do something, I was just not going to be around to see my new granddaughter to be born, because she was pregnant at the time. And so when I was scrolling through Facebook, as you do, your Auckland Hypnotherapy post popped up on my Facebook. And I read it, Virtual Gastric Band. I thought, well, that intrigued me, because two of my children have actually had actual medical, surgery, gastric band surgery. So, of course, it intrigued me to see what this virtual gastric band was about. And I read your article, and I read your thing, all the information about it. And I thought, well, that's fascinating. And I thought, and I thought about it for a few days, and I thought, no, I've got nothing to lose, except weight.
Yeah.
So I make contact with you. Well, I
Exactly.
didn't. I had nothing to lose. What did I have to lose? Apart from a little bit of money, which, that's fine. That didn't worry me at all. And some weight. So I thought, so I made contact with you, and it was the best thing I ever did in my whole life.
Awesome.
Hmm.
And I mean, I guess, were you a little bit skeptical, first of all, when you were booking? Because like I said, you sort of thought to yourself, okay, I've got nothing to lose apart from a little bit of money, and hopefully the weight's going to come off as well. But did you sort of have a little bit of skepticism initially, or did you know much about hypnosis?
Didn't know much at all about hypnosis, apart from maybe seeing the odd, theatrical thing on the TV. I had someone had spoken to me like probably 40 years ago now, and because, as I say, I've struggled with my weight all my life, and someone had actually said to me, oh, a friend of mine's had really good success with hypnosis, and that's actually stuck in the back of my head for 40 years, and but there's never really been any presence information out there. There's more now with social media, but over the years, there was nothing for me to sort of tap into or ask or anything. So, you know, sort of sat in the back of my mind for a long time until I saw your article. And so I wasn't really skeptical. I was open-minded about it. I mean, I know, and I've always known that the mind's a powerful tool. So I was actually very interested and keen to know what it was all about, and everything that was in that you said in your article made sense to me. So I thought, no, I'll go and see Richard, which I did.
Yeah, excellent. And you know, and that's the thing. It's everything that logically we know, but you know, sometimes it's just when the subconscious takes over, and you know, when you've got that subconscious emotional mind versus the conscious logical mind, emotion always wins over logic. And like I said, you know, it's everything that we know already, but sometimes we just need that help to bring the two back in line with each
realign. Yeah.
But yeah, exactly like you said, you know, you are open-minded, and essentially that's all you need to do is just come with the open mind, that commitment, motivation, and dedication. And how did you find the whole experience?
I found it absolutely wonderful. I mean, it was so relaxing. Apart from the obvious benefits of losing weight and everything, I also felt that I completely de-stressed myself a lot. Just with the hypnosis itself, I noticed that a lot of stress just lifted off my shoulders, and it was very, very relaxing. And I found I actually had much better sleep. It really improved my sleep. I felt a lot lighter in myself as a person. I felt like a whole lot of weight had been lifted off my shoulders, and just really, really relaxed and much more chilled out person. And that was just straight after the first session we had. And it was just an amazing, relaxing experience. It was sort of like being asleep, but not being asleep. And I guess when people come to see you, you know, you're trying to, they ask you what is it, you know, what does it do and how do you feel? And so just trying to put their minds at ease I mean, it really is quite a simple and very pleasurable experience. And it always, you know, it was.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's, you know, the thing with the virtual gastric band. A lot of people may think, okay, it's all about just saying, you know, you can no longer eat anymore and your stomach's going to be really small, but it is all about, you know, helping to reduce those stress and anxiety levels, and also just about helping to make you feel good about yourself, helping to make you feel more confident, in control, and empowered in so many other aspects of your life as well. So it's not all just about saying, you know, okay, you can't eat anymore. You know, we really want to make sure that you can feel good about yourself as well, and just bring those stress levels down.
Yeah, bring the stress levels down and increase your self-esteem. And I mean, those are all the things that go hand in hand with people with weight issues or overeating. It's you know, it's a crutch that's always been there. And I think it's what you did was you helped me to release those handbrakes, I guess, or those things that were always holding me back, whether they were conscious or unconscious beliefs that I had. I needed to get rid of them, and I did. And it was great, and it really boosted my self-esteem. But and I think, and I'm not the only one who said this, because one of the best things, apart from the weight loss, in some ways, the weight loss is a secondary benefit to the benefit of getting rid of those demons or those negative beliefs that you've always had in your life. So actually, the weight loss is almost secondary to getting rid of those. And so because those things aren't there anymore, or they're largely diminished, the weight loss comes about because you just don't need to rely on food as a drug.
It's almost as if the weight comes off as a lucky side effect of everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe that that's what it is, as well as the tools to help you get through that initial phase of eating less, and maybe some of the hunger that you might feel in between. But it was one of the biggest benefits to me too, because for me, I was always worried about where my next meal was coming from, and if I'm leaving the house for the day and I'm going out, where am I going to eat? Where am I going to get my food from? And worrying about being hungry, that used to really worry me about being hungry. It caused me anxiety about, I'm going to be hungry. I'll have to, and just not having to worry about food, not even thinking about food.
Well, I mean, a lot of people have never experienced true hunger for such a long time because they're almost eating so that, perhaps they don't become hungry. Like, oh, I better have something to tide me over until dinner. And a lot of people do say it's actually quite a nice feeling to perhaps feel a little bit hungry because they've not felt it.
Yeah,
And,
I feel hungry, and then when I have my meal, that's good, and I only have my little meal. And now I like to feel hungry, and I actually think it's good for your body to feel hunger.
And the very worst thing that's going to happen, we're in a very fortunate position at the moment in that we're never going to run out of food. And the very worst thing that can happen if we do start to feel a little bit hungry is that a meal's going to come along in the next couple of hours, probably. But yeah, it just helps to free up your mind from thinking about food, which food does just take up so much brain space.
Yeah, takes up far too much brain space. Yeah.
And now you've got that extra brain space to be painting, doing your projects at home as well, all of those extra things that you love to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know a lot of people when they come here, of course they want to see the weights come off yesterday. Of course we'd all love it to that 10, 20 kilos, whatever, for it to have come off yesterday. But realistically, it is all about steady, consistent, but more importantly, permanent weight loss. And I know that, when that article came out in Women's Day last year, I think that was about a year after you came to see me. And that was about, I think about a 28 kilo weight loss at that point.
Yeah, just coming up to 30.
Yeah, just coming up to 30.
Yeah, about 29.
Yeah, which I always say to people at that stage, that's on average just over 500 grams a week. Although having said that, when you say to people, almost 30 kilos in a year, that's amazing. But also, there would have been some weeks when you would have lost more weight, perhaps some weeks when you would have plateaued, and there may have even been a week or two, I don't know, perhaps when you might have put on a kilo or two.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, weight loss is a funny thing. People seem to think that, it should be consistently coming off at 1 or 2 kilos every week, and it's like, well, no, it doesn't work that way. And 1 week you might think that you've actually lost weight and you stay the same, and then the following week, it'll show. And I've known that all my life, going through with Weight Watchers and stuff like that. It's always been the same, Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig or anything. And so I'm just adjusting my screen so it doesn't fall down. As I can see, I'm just slipping down. And weight loss is a funny thing, and what people have got to realise, it's not about what the scales say anyway. It's about what you do with your life and how you eat and how you feel about food and how you feel in yourself. And
that's it. And that's what I try and say to people is that, as long as you know in your mind that, you're just you're you're not thinking about food anymore. You're quite happy with just, perhaps your 3 small meals a day. You're not snacking, you're not grazing. Sometimes there are going to be weeks when perhaps there is no weight loss. Sometimes it may go up a kilo or two. Sometimes it might go down a bit more. But as long as you know that if you're just not thinking about food, so then not stress about, I've got to get that down, because it will just come off slowly, naturally on its own. And over the last year then, because last year then it was coming up to 30 kgs off. And what is it in total now over the last sort of 2 years since you came here?
Well, I'm now 40 kilos down. So
It's amazing.
that's
So you
amazing.
must be feeling super pleased and proud of yourself with that.
Super pleased and proud of myself. I'm now 57 kilos.
Wow.
And, I feel really, really good, really fit. I do need to do more fitness. I have actually been out and shoveling dirt, and during the lockdown, my husband and I were walking down our road. Our road is 2.5 kilometres long, so that was a 5K walk. So I've been doing some walking. We want to go and do more tramping and stuff, and a lot of that is just really more about fitting it in the time, but we have been very, very active outside. So we've actually been very lucky that we can do that.
Yeah.
But and for the first time because we've been in our property about 7 years, and it's quite a sloped property. We're up on a saddle, and so the first time in 7 years, I was actually able to get down the hill into the bush properly. It's the first time in 7 years, because I just could not have got down there. I was just too big and too unfit and too unhealthy. And
Awesome.
so it was really cool.
Yeah, definitely. So it's all these extra things that, just makes you feel good as well. Like I said, it's not just about the weight coming off, but it has that knock-on effect to everything else, just making you feel great in yourself. And were there any major challenges at all that you had throughout the process?
Well, I actually can't say that I did have any major challenges. I just found the process really, really easy. Even just dealing with as I say, the hunger things. They did it, for the first maybe the week. It was sort of like I did the breathing exercise, the exercises and things like that, and the water, and more conscious of that. But probably after the first week, it just wasn't even an issue. It just wasn't a problem. I actually don't think I had any challenges, Richard.
Yeah. That's it. Like I said, you came with that commitment, that motivation, that dedication. And like I said, you drank more water, you did the breathing exercises. I know you listened to the MP3s as well that was sent through. And it's just by doing those little extra conscious things throughout, which then just helps to make it such an easy process combined. And then it just becomes, as you know now, it just becomes how you live your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just all sort of automatic. It's not, I don't really think about it. I've had quite a few of my friends have been to see you, and they have been successful as well. And it's really, really fascinating and fabulous to see them also succeeding. And seeing them go on their journey as well, which has been really, really good.
Awesome. And I guess another big change that's happened in your life as well is you've had a big change in your career as well since you came here. So
yes, well, I was so amazed at the transformation and my mindset. And all my life, well, a lot of my adult life, I've sort of wanted to do something where I'm helping people. I think it was on my 3rd or 4th visit with you, and I asked you about becoming a hypnotherapist and what was involved with that. And so I went on to train, and become a hypnotherapist myself. And that is the most rewarding part of, probably one of the most rewarding parts of my journey, is to be able to now help other people in the same manner that you help me to help myself. So help other people to help themselves, to just find their better side of themselves, I guess, the better part.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And just having that empathy and going through it as well
I
can.
think so. I think, and I hope that through my journey that I can show people. I mean, obviously you show people before and after photos, because that's probably the thing that has the most impact with people who are overweight, because and I know when you are overweight, and you're feeling very down and you're very miserable and very overweight, because I was very obesely overweight, you feel like there is no hope, that you cannot get out of that hole, out of that struggle. And you can.
Mm,
You can get out of that hole, and you can get away from that struggle. And I want people to see that and know that it can happen.
excellent. And yeah, I mean, like you said, you can show people the before and after photos. However, I think having gone through it, you can really talk to them from the heart. You can really connect with them, and I think that'll make a big difference as well in what you're doing, because you know from a mindset point of view as well exactly how it is, how the journey is going to go as well, and how you can help them out.
Yes.
And Cathy's hypnotherapy practice is Evolve Hypnotherapy, which you can find on Facebook if you just search Evolve Hypnotherapy on Facebook. And she specializes in the Virtual Gastric Band, but I think you can also help people out as well with anxiety, stop smoking, phobias, a variety of issues. But yeah, if you search her on Facebook under Evolve Hypnotherapy, and she's based down in Clevedon, in a beautiful setting down there, out in the country. So you can give her a shout. But also, what was the biggest positive, I guess, that you got from the process, that you found from the process?
I think for me it was basically just getting rid of those things that were holding me back, and just basically just going, get them off your shoulders,
Yeah,
just lightening the load emotionally. Um,
and that
and
just immediately makes you just feel
just,
so much
you
taller,
know,
lighter, way
it,
before the actual kilos comes off.
yeah, no, just releasing all those things that are, that have been plaguing me or for years, those negative beliefs that really are not doing anybody any good, and they certainly weren't doing me any good. So I think that was the biggest benefit, actually, and the fact that I feel happier, I'm much healthier. My doctor's very pleased with me. um, so it's just huge benefits all around, really.
Fantastic. Okay, well, listen, I will let you get on with your day there, Cathy. I know you've got to go in a moment, but it's been absolutely awesome to catch up with you. And you're looking fantastic. You can just see it radiating out from you.
Thank
And
you.
of course, if you have any questions or queries, need anything at all, just give me a shout. And hopefully we can catch up again soon.
That'd be really good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Richard.